Good afternoon. On this Labor Day, we have a beautiful day, and one of these days that make me want to work outside, but at the same time I don't. It's a beautiful, pretty cool-ish day. We have maybe around 18 degrees Celsius, so when you get outside it's cool, but as soon as it's warm in the greenhouse, that's for sure. But when you get outside, the wind is cool, and it really feels fall-ish, that's for sure. But as soon as you work a little bit, you get super warm and you want to get your hoodie, to take off your hoodie. I decided to do a little bit of a garden tour today. Probably one of the last ones, but I think also one of the best ones. I think you've seen me discouraged in the past few months about my garden, and it really not has been that much of a success, but I think it turned out looking great, looking good. I've had this visit last week, 2 weeks ago, well, on the 24th of August, and it was fun. It was cool, and everyone struggled with their garden and were pretty happy to see mine. So it went well, but I feel right now it's really even better than it was. So I'm going to turn you guys around, and I'm going to show you what is most likely one of the last ones, because our first frost date is right above us, right above. It's coming soon, whatever. We have some really cool nights, and we can feel that it's really coming. So that's the current view from the entrance. My goal is to eventually not be able to see that far. I did add these small structures with branches from fallen trees that we've had a truckload this summer. So this part here has some sort of ceiling, and I want to add one to all the other ones. This is something I'm going to do eventually. I do have some grapevines that, let's hope, someday is going to fill that. So let's imagine this is full and we can't see what's behind. We come in the garden and realize that I made this without thinking about tall people, because I fit, but tall people don't. And I love how many colors have popped. There is this beautiful sunflower here that has been showing its face. It has shown its face, and we can see like some other flowers. We have one tiny here. I don't know what it is, but it popped like yesterday, and it's beautiful. On these small trunks that are actually like my support system for my tomatoes, we have morning glories that are popping. And see, our season is so small here, so short, that really this time of year is really when the garden gets glorious. Everything flowers and everything looks beautiful. We have these beautiful purple flowers here coming this way. I did end up finishing this hallway. This part I wanted to be filled. I would like whoops sorry, I would like it to be filled with something like bushes and raspberries, to have a little small fence. Yesterday we did harvest many cherry tomatoes. That is what is getting ready right now in my outside garden. This one, I don't know if I told you guys, but there is like this single bee living in this bed, and I don't really like bees and wasps, but I let them be, and so I'm not touching that bed. But see this this big mess. It's pretty beautiful. Yesterday we did harvest. I think this is my best bed. It's always been my better looking bed. Some flowers I've been planting at the beginning of summer to have my my visit be beautiful are now popping, so I mean it's a little bit late, but I can still enjoy it with you guys. It's the time of year when everything that climbs start climbing. I did take my plant outside. I really need to take it back because I was thinking even if my outdoor plants do well, I can take out my indoor plants and show them off. But it's been 2 weeks now and it really needs to get back in the house. On this side I need to weed this a little bit, but I don't know if I have the will and desire. I think now might be the time to start upgrading my garden for next year, like putting cardboards and wood chips and things like that for next year, because I don't want to do the same mistake and go crazy in the spring. I want my spaces to be ready, so I'm really starting to look at what I can just close for winter. I did plant a lot of carrots here, but see, we have a few of them growing, but this is full of weeds. I do have these nasturtiums that decided to grow by themselves. I have no idea where they come from, but they are there. And just to show you how late our season can be, these are, if you know them, you probably recognize them, but these are Barry's Crazy Cherry tomatoes, and they are just starting to fruit, so I'm crossing my fingers to be able to harvest a few of these. I did start to harvest a lot of celery. All my celery is doing really, really well. Let's come back. I'm zigzagging in Freya! Now, I'm zigzagging in the garden. These are, what's the name again? I'm going to write it down. These are gurgan, and I need to harvest them. I want to make some soup. So, and these went really well to see. I need to harvest them before it's too late. And the kids are getting tired of eating snap peas, so they are getting really, really big everywhere. Oh yeah! You can see. On this side of the garden I planted some beans. I don't know if I'm going to have time to harvest some, but I decided to just go for it. And yeah, I just decided to let everything go, and I come here once in a while and there are a few tomatoes that are starting to bloom, to blush, so I am harvesting them. But I do have this one that is really, really big. I hope it's going to be able to ripe a little bit on the vine. These green apple cucumbers or lemon cucumbers, there's two kinds of them. I never tell them apart, but I was able to harvest a few of them. But I always struggle a little bit with my cucumbers. It's never going really tall, but I do take these tiny varieties because they are ready sooner. I have some bigger ones in the greenhouse, but these ones I can always harvest a few of them. We can already see that in a few days / a few weeks I'll have many other sunflowers. I can't wait to see them. I have these carrots that seem to be doing really nice, but for me it's like too good to be true to have that many carrots and beautiful carrots everywhere in my garden, because I always struggle. So I don't know. I have some, these are volunteer sunflowers that I had in my last year, the chicken run, and I decided to take them here. We have a little bee. That's one of my neighbor's bees, and they did lose all of their bees last year and they started back this year. So So we are starting to see them, but it's really not as many as we usually see. My flowers are usually like buzzing with their bees, but really I can count on my fingers how many of their bees I saw. I have this little pot here that I'm really happy about it. These are basil, but yesterday I did harvest these tiny peppers. I don't know if I kept the tag, but we came inside the house with a ton of tomatoes and small peppers like these, and my daughters wanted to eat some, so I said sure. Turns out they are spicy, like real spicy, so they each took a massive bite of these, and turns out they are really spicy. So we learned our lesson, but I have a few of them and I really struggle. Yesterday I took like 3 of them, and there's maybe like 5 or 6 on the plant. So we are going to pickle them. I am going to pickle them. Now in the middle here, my Gourgane are doing well. They are seeing flower. That's interesting. I mean, it's the same variety. I didn't buy many types of these. I bought only one, and the other ones, maybe I planted these further in the season, but still doing well with the flowers. And I mean, ouch. And see, we have one ready here, so I have many to harvest, and these are just weeds. But I'm starting to get interested in herbalism and realize that many of these plants are actually usable. So before pulling them out, I want to check. I really don't know what happened. I'm not good yet at reading my plants. I know that yellow leaves like that, many of my tomato plants had them. I don't know why. It's not like they have all the same soil. They really grow in different spaces, and why are they like so tiny? And I mean, my soil is really not the best, but I mean, it's been a few years that I've been amending them. But I mean, that's part of life. We have this beautiful flower that's just popped. I know I planted this, but I don't know what it is. So this side, it's actually funny because these tutors lasted all summer long, and we have had some really bad windstorms, and they lasted all the time until my visit. The next day these were down. So I just want to take a drill and like drill a huge hole to make sure that it stays put next time. But right now it's not hurting much. It's not like these plants were massive or anything. So I'm going to fix that in the next weeks. This is like my typical area. I did cut a little bit of the weeds here, but we can see the flowers starting to pop, and I hope in the next years it's going to bush a little bit more than that. This one has been filled with these strawberry plants, but the strawberries we're done with strawberries. It's been over a month, but I'm happy to see that they continue to grow, and we'll see how it goes next year, because this year we had a pretty good harvest, but next year is probably going to be even better. My nasturtiums, I love these towers so much when they are filled with nasturtiums, so it breaks my heart a little bit when they die, because I don't know why, I just always have the hope that they are going to like heal or something, but they won't. But I have the seeds, so I'm going to just drop these everywhere. We have a few peppers, but really not something impressive. On this one, these are called Esterina, and they are my favorite tomatoes. They are hybrid, and they are the only hybrid I buy and grow because they are just so darn good. and we hope that it's that they're going to be able to ripe. On this side I have these grapes too that are really good. On this side there's grapes, and on this side we have roses. So hopefully in 2 or 3 years this is going to be filled. I did bring for my visit my little table here, and I think I like it. I think it clears the view to this side of the garden. I decided to use for my pathways my my plastic bags because I don't want to struggle with the weeds in my pathways. It's already enough for the garden. So I'm reusing all these bags for my future pathways like this. And this is what I'm talking about. I have many cardboard boxes, and what I should be focusing right now is to put them in here and make this place ready for next year. I'm going to love myself so much if my beds are all ready when the snow melts. I'm really happy to see, whoops, sorry. I'm really happy to see that my asparagus did so well, oops, and is growing really well. They are getting pretty big, and I hope next year I can harvest from this patch. I have this little patch here too, but there's only one. So I'm thinking right now about ordering a few plants. I don't want to go crazy, but I would like to have maybe strawberries here and finish this little row of asparagus. So this fell too, but this side we have these huge tomatoes. I don't know which they are, but they are doing great. I'm not touching this anymore because I don't want to break anything. They're getting so heavy. And this was filled with purple tomatoes that we just emptied yesterday. It was completely filled with I think it's the best plant I had this year, and it was such a late plant in like random soil that I put. It's really funny sometimes how things work. But see, my celery is doing great too, so I'm happy about that. I'm not going to enter in the details of every single thing here because I mean many are weeds, but many are also like some other asparaguses and raspberries, and not everything survived. But I'm not I don't know enough to be able to say like I'm going to rip this off, because sometimes things pop back. So I'm leaving this there, and next year I'm going to have a better idea, looking back to the videos to see what survived. I mean that I thought died last year but came back, and what is dead for the past 2 years. I did plant, I've shown you my little maple trees on this side, but I did add some raspberries. You can see my only regret is I don't know why, but these are not in line with the line up there. But I mean, I guess I did that. And on this side it didn't change much, but I'm still going to show you, because I have this beautiful kale plant that I planted at the beginning of the season, and it just have grown and grown and grown, and now that it's getting colder it's getting even better. I have a few flowers here, and I do have some potatoes. Last year I did throw a few potatoes here, and this just popped this year. And in my maze, I'm not going to go, but I did find what I wanted there. We just put this log, I'm going to even it out, and I do have these solar like clocks I found on Marketplace, so it's going to be, and it's pretty accurate with the time, so I'm going to put it there when we're ready. I would go and show you my trees, but you can see how much flowers are there, and they're full of bees. So yeah, no. So I think right now, in the beginning of September, in the past few years, I would start a fight with nature or something like that, if I can say. But I think this year I'm tired. I'm honestly tired. I think this visit was nice to do. It was really fun, to be really honest. I mean, I had like 10 people in my garden who would visit, ask me questions, and we would talk about gardening. I mean, how better can it get? But I think it did add too much stress, and I did not focus on my garden as being my garden and to plant things I wanted to plant and to make it how of course I made it how I liked it, but I always all summer long what I was thinking was how it would look like to other people, and I didn't focus on what I wanted. So I'm really tired. It really stressed me out. It was still a great experience. I would do it again, but it was really not at the point I wanted to show it to people, and I think that's the issue. It was really nice to show still, because people don't want to see perfect gardens. They want to know that they're not the only ones who have crappy tomato plants and like weeds everywhere and slugs everywhere, and that have like still plants in seedlings pots laying around here and there sometimes. So it was fun, but I'm all that to say that I'm tired right now, and I did the visit and didn't come back into my garden since yesterday night. So that was a week and a half maybe. So right now I'm like abdicating, and the other weeks, the other years, I wanted to fight like the weather and cover things, but I'm not there anymore. I mean, gardening can humble you, and it did in the past few years. It did this year. I had really high hopes being this being my third year, like fourth summer here, but I mean the first year I didn't have like a fraction of what I have here. So what I'm going to work on from now, I'm going to harvest what I have, and I really want to focus on getting some beds ready and to have the parts I want to be ready for next year upgraded. Not upgraded, but like work on them right now, because during spring I'm going to want these places to be like workable, and it's not going to be the time. So we can really feel fall coming, and right now I'm more in the kitchen mood. I love processing. Laisse-le là, parce que c'est beau. I love processing what I have. I love buying things to process. I love we've been to the farmers market like as customers, but we did have my kids sold things there, so we did harvest many. We found people that would give us access to their cherry trees, apple trees, and like those tiny sour apples. We've sold a few of them, but we still have many of them, so I'm processing these, and I really feel the kitchen calling me at this time of year as much as I feel the garden calling me when spring comes. But I need to do a service to myself for next year and start to think about next spring right now, in order to have a better garden when fall comes, and I'm not like a little bit regretful of what I did during the season. So I want to know how your gardens are doing, and tell me how has been your season. My dog is in hunting mode. She wants to hunt my kids. So thanks for hanging out with me, and see you next time. Bye.